Perfect.
All right, now we're fully ready to go. All right, hello everyone. I am Brett Bates. I am the Senior Communications Manager here at Rumble, and I apologize for the ghetto mic that I'm wearing right now. I have to hold it very close to my face or else you can't hear me. The reason for that is that we actually have three people here today. You have one of them on screen right now. This is Derek McDevitt. He is the lead designer on the new Arenas feature, so he will have a lot to say about it. And then right now we have driving. He'll come on screen a little bit later. We have Sean Green, who is one of our, what would you call yourself with regards to Arenas?
UI extraordinaire.
UI extraordinaire. Our UI extraordinaire on Arenas. So
I concur.
We'll talk a little bit about the art that went into Arenas, the design of the menus and all that sort of thing. But first off, we wanted to go into kind of a quick overview what Arenas are. We have alluded to the fact that it is PvP. I mean, that's not maybe true in the strictest sense of PvP. You're not going to be going into the arena and bashing another person on the head, but you are going to be competing with another person inside the arena. So why don't we talk real quick, just a very brief overview of what Arenas are, and then we'll actually go into an Arenas match so you guys can see exactly what goes on.
Yeah, totally. So Arenas, basically, it's a huge feature for us. We've been working on it for a couple months now, at least, and it's really the first chance you're going to get in KingsRoad to compete against another player directly. Like Brett said, it's not direct PvP in the classical sense. You're not going to go in there and be attacking the other player directly, but you will be going into an arena with them. You'll be there'll be competitive scoring involved as you fight off enemies in our first iteration, and as we move forward, there's going to be all sorts of different ways to compete, whether competing the map the fastest or killing the most enemies. It's a really exciting system because it's going to give us a lot of options for you guys to be able to play against each other in different and fun ways, and ways you've never really played KingsRoad before, which to me is the most exciting. It's not just your standard, hey, go kill the boss or survive waves. It's, there's a new strategic element to playing in these matches. So.
Yeah, we're really excited about it because, I know you level 60 players have been asking for the longest time for new content. We have the level 60 events, and I know you guys enjoy those a lot, but I know you've been asking for more, and we think that the really cool thing about Arena is the fact that you're playing with other people. It's actually going to be a different experience every single time.
Exactly, yeah.
And beyond that, we also plan to change out the maps all the time, have different types of maps. There's a lot of possibilities that we have with Arena, so this is really going to be, once you hit level 60, like this is one of the cool things you want to do between this and events. This is where you're going to be spending a lot of your time, we hope.
Yep, absolutely. And another cool thing that opens up for us is, and you're not going to see this with the initial release, but we have plans laid out where we're going to have some really cool, exciting new reward vectors, new types of rewards for you guys to get by playing in the arenas, stuff you're only going to be able to get from the arenas. So it should be a really fun, competitive system, and then that's what we're looking forward to.
Cool. All right. Well, why don't we stop killing chickens and actually go in and show people what an arena match looks like?
Yeah. All right. So you'll see there's an arena master NPC in the town hub now. So you walk over to him and click on him, and you're going to get hit with this.
Actually, why don't we have Sean do that? Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you go here. Here's the main arena screen. We'll go into a little more detail of this in a bit. But for now, you can see that at a high level. You come here. We got a nice big splash image, nice colorful image here, and this current arena is themed around fire and ice. And again, the themes will switch out every so often with new maps, new enemies, and new objectives. So here's our first one. So we'll go ahead and just play a match. We'll come back to the menus later and talk a bit more on. But so you go ahead and hit play, and it will matchmaking you into an arena match.
By yourself. That didn't work.
By yourself here.
I do want to stress, guys, that arenas are still in very much beta mode. We aren't quite ready to release it out to players yet, and this is one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
So
let's try that again.
This again. And this happened earlier. Refresh fixed it on my end. So, Sean, why don't you go ahead and go through the flow again?
All right, here we go.
All right.
If that doesn't work, we'll try a quick refresh. So yeah, we are very much in the, even though we've been working on it for a couple months, go ahead and hit a refresh, Sean.
You're going to have to refresh.
Okay, sure.
The intention here is once you hit play, you will be match made against other players who are looking to play in the arena as well, too.
Yeah, so it's similar to using the Find Party functionality. Just do a quick refresh. The big difference here being you're only going to be match made with one other person.
Exactly.
So arenas right now, they're mano a mano. There's only two people in them.
Exactly.
So I think that makes it a lot more intense, right? Because it's you or the other guy.
Absolutely. Right? And the cool thing too is we've already done some internal play testing with 3-player free-for-all matches, and we've talked about wanting to do 3v3 matches or guild-based matches as well too. So there's a really cool system laid out here for us to really explore as we keep moving forward.
All right.
There we go.
All right, let's try that again.
Okay. There we go.
Yep, let's go ahead and see. All right, looks like we're working now. So you can see it says searching for a party there at the bottom. So I'm also going to join in here too on my screen, which you can't see. But
actually, let's wait till after it connects. Yep, there we go. Both in.
Great, we're both going to come in here.
Very good.
You can see when you hit ready, you get a...
I'm just looking at a comment here from Bobby Freeze. Even they need a refresh. I'm so glad about it. I mean, really, with any issue that you ever have in the game, refresh is always your first course of action.
The equivalent of unplugging it and plugging it back in again.
Yeah, that will fix most of the issues that you have.
So here we go. So Sean's right. I'm going to go ahead and hit ready, and we're going to start this match, and you can get an idea of how it works. So you can see we've got our little arena NPC pop up here. Welcome to the arena. Round 1 will begin shortly here.
So you can see the arena is very much, at least this particular map, is a very enclosed map. So it's not like a lot of the other maps in the game where you're trying to get from point A to point B. You're pretty much stuck in this small environment here. And your primary goal is to kill enemies as quickly as possible. What counts here is getting kills. So it's not doing damage, it's getting that killing blow. So you can see, it looks like these guys just finished with a round. You can see as they go into the next round, whenever Sean gets a kill, there'll be a little score notification that pops up over the enemy, and that's telling them how much score they earn for that particular enemy.
Right.
You can also see it when you mouse over any of the enemies. Right underneath their health bar, it'll tell you how many points that enemy's worth. So the interesting thing is here, the enemies are actually worth different amounts depending on what type of enemy they are. So there's a lot of strategy here in determining whether you want to just try to go get a bunch of fodder with a single AoE attack, or try to focus on one of the bigger guys, hit them with a huge single target effect and take them out. And then, of course, there's a lot of fun to be had too with stealing kills from other players, right?
Absolutely.
So you know you can kind of keep an eye on one of the other enemies that another player is attacking. Wait till that guy's just about dead, and then sneak in for the killing blow, and you'll get the full credit for that.
Yeah, and in this first arena, the general theme is bigger enemies are worth more points. You can see at the bottom there. Oh, Sean just bit it.
Just got taken out.
So here's where I really catch up here.
It's close right now.
So you can see the score at the bottom. The crown sits over whoever is currently winning, which is Sean right now by 2 points, but that won't last long because I'm going to catch up.
Was he?
Derek, you're getting called out for mass clicking your mouse rather than just holding to attack.
It's a habit I just cannot break. Oh man, I might die here. Oh man. All right, let's get out of there.
Got it.
Come on.
Oh man, Sean might die again.
I need the big guy. Yeah.
Where's your rejuve potions,
Got him.
man?
There we go.
What is he doing? What are you gonna use? Chat? Oh man, look at that.
Look at you.
Bragging. I am the
Look
best.
at
I don't know if you
you.
guys can see that.
Showboating, man. Look at this guy.
So Derek's starting to pull away here.
Look at you.
Don't worry, the big bosses at the end, they can really swing things. Come on.
Okay.
Health low.
Okay.
Oh, he's out.
All right.
Oh, right at the end of the round, though.
Good timing.
Lucky
Good timing.
time to
I'll
die.
take it. Should be back up in time.
All right, so here's the final round, guys.
Let's do this.
Against the two bosses. Who do we have for bosses in this one?
We've got Jotnar and we've got Lord of Draenos.
Nice.
And these guys are each worth 15 points right here, so they'll summon other enemies throughout and do some deadly attacks. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of strategy here in determining which target you want to focus on. So you can see Derek, I guess, is just kind of going between the two of them. I don't know if that's the best strategy necessarily.
You playing?
Whereas Sean is focused just on the one. Oh, Derek's still got that kill. Looks like Derek's going to pull away with this one.
I think it's some. He can get some of these little suicide guys. I'll give him some. Oh, I need to get out of there.
He's still got to get a draw on us.
No.
Oh, and by the way, guys, I see a lot of you are asking questions here. Let's hold on to your most burning questions.
Oh, are you serious? Oh, okay.
What
all right,
just
that's
happened?
fine. No
what
problem.
just happened?
It's all right. That's all right.
All right, so wait, let's hold up here real quick before we move on.
All right.
So just to show you guys, here's the end of match screen here. You can see we've got a couple of, there's one new reward type that we have in already, and that's crowns. So you can see that, it says he won. Says he got first.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
beat
we
me.
know.
He got the last
Did he
kill, and
really?
he just won
Oh
ahead of me.
man!
Yeah.
Holy cow! That's a good shout. I was too busy trying to do
It was a
yeah.
close one. Yeah.
All right, so you can see Sean got
Surprise.
first place, so he got himself 1 crown.
Yay.
Derek got 0 crowns because he is a loser.
Because I lost, and I don't deserve anything.
Sean
yet.
also gets 6,000 gold. Derek still gets 3,000 gold just for trying.
Cha-ching.
So,
Right.
you know, Derek, why don't you talk a little bit about the rewards here?
Yeah,
what
totally.
We're trying to do.
So you know, one thing that we know right now is that when you're level 60 and you're at the end of the game, you know, the big thing you're doing is you're playing events, right? And when you're not playing events, you're probably trying to get gold so you can buy tokens to do events, right? So you know, grinding the same map over again is not too fun. We realize that, so we want to give you guys another way to go and get gold efficiently, you know. So in our minds, the arena is a lot more dynamic, a lot more fun than grinding, you know, Adamar's dungeon or the same map over and over again. So we'd rather see you guys come in here, play with each other, have fun, and have this be a more efficient place for you to get gold than grinding the same story map over and over again. So you know, you should be able to come in here, you know, play the arena, use what we call Fury tokens. You know, we'll go over that in a second. Spend those up and you gain those for free over time. And then once those run out, you know, you go play the events or do whatever you want to do. But this is meant to be kind of like the thing you do when you first log into the game.
Cool. So why don't we go ahead and go back to town, and then we can go through some of the menus. And actually, Sean, if you want to kind of take the lead with some of these and kind of go over your thinking with them and how they're laid out and everything like that. So if you want to go ahead and collect your reward there, then we'll go back to the Arena Master. What's his name? What are we calling him? I can't remember what his name is.
Oh, Rowan.
Rowan, the
Rowan.
Arena Master. So why don't we talk a little bit about, so we have Fury tokens. You can see those in the upper left there. And the way those work, you can have a max of 5.
Right now, yep, 5. Yep.
Each time you play the arenas, it uses up 1 token.
1 token.
And those refresh over time, right?
Yeah, you get 1 every 30 minutes right now, so fairly fast rate. You know, 2.5 hours, come back, you've got a full Fury meter full up again, go ahead and play all.
And then obviously, if you want to, you can buy more of those with gems if you want to play again.
If you want to play more than.
But the idea is that you're going to be trading your time between playing this and playing the event and maybe playing some of the story maps and that sort of thing. So, so why don't we go through a couple of the other tabs there, Sean, if you want to kind of talk, if there's anything else you want to talk through here on this screen.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys are really going to like what we did with, as far as a UI standpoint, what we did with the arenas. We tried to make things as epic as we could. You know, you get this really great screen in here. You know, every arena will have some great artwork in here to showcase, basically depicting what that arena is going to be like, you know, who you're going to be facing, what kind of enemies. So we're trying to make this as epic as possible. It's the first PvP experience in KingsRoad, so it's got to be that. Going across these tabs at the top, you're going to find everything you need to, you know, collect milestone rewards. And here you can, you know, once you earn enough crowns, you can come in here and get some great rewards just for playing. And, you know, those stack up all the way until, you know, for this first event, you can earn up to 500 crowns and get, you know, some really great rewards in here.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the crowns. So when you're playing the match, if you win that match, you get 1 crown.
Right.
If you lose the match, you don't get any, or do you have negative?
You don't get any up to a point, and then once you hit a certain milestone, you can start losing them. Once you've kind of collected the milestone rewards, and then you're starting to compete in a leaderboard, then it gets a little more competitive. And if you lose matches, you will lose a crown.
Got it.
First, you know, for your first kind of few milestones, it'll be pretty generous. So if you lose, we just won't give you a crown. We won't take one away. Just try again and see if you can do better next time.
And one quick clarification here. This is from Han asking if the tokens still accumulate when you're offline.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The
Absolutely.
tokens definitely accumulate while you're offline. So you can come in, play your 5 matches, log off, come back in a couple hours, and you'll be ready to go again.
So we have these milestone rewards, and basically you're earning a new milestone every maybe 5, 10?
Yeah, 5, 15, 25 crowns, yeah. And so once you've accumulated some crowns, you get these, like Sean was saying, these great packages that have everything, you know, every one of these packages has an amount of gold and gems in them. You'll get some, you know, some nice enchanting items, some lock boxes, just a nice little goodie bag of rewards. And like I mentioned earlier, over time, we're hoping to add other unique rewards you guys haven't seen yet to these milestones to give you something really kind of unique and cool to collect every time there's a new arena.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is just kind of your own personal progress with the arena match, but you can also compete with other players on the global leaderboard. So why don't we show off that that other tab, Sean?
Yep.
Yeah, so here are what the rewards are going to be for the top players globally playing in the arenas.
Right.
So we expect each arena, we're calling them seasons, but they're relatively short, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but each time a new arena starts, it'll be around for about a week, maybe 2 weeks. Still kind of in the progress on determining how long it'll last. But during that time, as soon as a new season starts, your crown balance is set to 0, your progress on the rewards are set to 0, and new rewards will show up on the board. So then you start playing during that season and accumulate to get that season's rewards and compete on that season's leaderboard. At the end of that season, wherever you stand on the leaderboard will land you in one of these scoring categories here. So players 1 through 100 fall into different categories right now, and then we'll go ahead and send you those rewards at the end of the season if you manage to get to the top 100 on the leaderboard.
Yeah, and like we said, I think this is definitely going to be one of those vectors where we're going to have some really cool special rewards eventually. Right now, what do we have for the rewards?
Right now, we're giving out some pretty sweet damage jewels that give damage and crit damage. The Tristones of Doom. So if you get first, we're going to be legendary. Second and third are going to get some epics there.
And a bunch of event tokens too.
If you get first place, for example, we're giving you 50 event tokens. So that's a lot. Even on the milestone rewards, for hitting the milestones, we're giving out event token lock boxes. So this is another great way. Just play arenas to kind of work towards being able to play the events more, get those really sweet items that we know that everyone kind of wants because they're great.
Yep.
This is a really good way to kind of to come spend some time, get the currency you want to be able to play the events and have fun doing it as well too.
Yeah, and so we really wanted to make this so it was accessible to everyone, right? So when you're playing the arenas, I know not all level 60s are super competitive, and they might enjoy the match competitiveness, but they don't really care about the global leaderboards, and that's why we have those individual milestones.
Exactly. Yeah.
So those are the milestones you can just kind of focus on for yourself and just kind of make your own progress towards those.
Right.
But, for those of you guys, and I'm sure some of you who are currently in guilds at the top of the guild leaderboards are definitely going to enjoy the global leaderboard as well. And the fact that it's an individual leaderboard, I think, makes it a little bit cooler. It's focused purely on how well I can do,
absolutely,
not how well maybe my buddy did or something like that. So it's totally focused on what you're doing. The rewards that you get from that are specifically from the effort that you put into it. And I do want to address one quick thing that people I saw pop up here that always pops up is like, oh, it's for the cheaters. And I do want to say, as you guys have probably noticed from the guild leaderboard rewards, we have gotten a lot better at detecting those cheaters and making sure those people are disqualified. So that's something that we'll definitely look to be doing as well with these rewards. And if we detect that you're cheating, you're going to get either suspended or banned. And we've banned quite a few players at this point already, as you've probably seen from the way that some of the different guilds have fluctuated up and down. So, it's something that we definitely take very seriously, and I want you guys to know that we're going to take it seriously with arenas as well. It's really important when you have any sort of competitive element is make sure that
keeping it fair. Yeah.
Keeping it fair, exactly. All right, so let's see. Do we want to talk a bit about how did this whole idea for arenas come about? What's kind of the thinking behind it? How did it evolve from the original conception that we had of it?
Yep.
Want to talk a little bit towards that?
Yeah, sure. So, we knew we wanted to give a new system to the end level players. So for people who reach level 16 KingsRoad, who are looking for something else to do, some other reason to want better gear, some other reason to be competitive or to get stronger, week over week. And so originally, it started off as just kind of a wave-based kind of combat thing where the more you played, that would rank you higher, and you weren't playing with other players. And then we started talking about kind of the scoring that we have in the story maps. And a long time ago when we first implemented that, internally we were having a fun time seeing who can get more breakables, who can do more damage, who can do all these things, and competing was really fun. So we're like, hey, how about we just take that, really focus in on that system and just kind of laser focus on making that as fun as we possibly can. And so then everyone got really excited about the idea. We started kicking it around a bit, and then we started prototyping things and found it was really fun. We thought it got a lot of good reactions in the office, and so here we are a couple months later with what we have with this first arena, where it's right now it's all based on kills. And I saw a few other people saying, "Oh, damage. Why doesn't damage count for points or other things?" Those were things we're exploring. We have the opportunity to try anything with the system. Given that every week or two a new arena starts, we can continually take feedback from you guys. We'll be following the feedback very closely on the message boards and on Facebook and wherever else feedback comes in from you guys. We'll be looking at the data, and we'll be improving it to make it more and more fun for you guys. So
we've already talked internally about having different arenas that might not necessarily be just about killing enemies, right? There's lots of different types that we've discussed internally, and I think there's a lot of flexibility that we have with this system, right? You take that base idea of you're competing with the other people for points, and there's a lot that you can do with that and have a lot of fun with it. And ways that you can emphasize maybe different stats in the game that have not been as important before, but in the arenas might be really, really, really important. So I think there's a lot of expandability here, and it's something that we definitely plan to do.
And one other thing that we've been, it's still in a very early prototype phase, but it's really, we've had a lot of fun with it, is we've been making some kind of these consumable items that you can use to mess with other players. And Sean's smiling over here. You can't see it. But he's a master of these things. Basically, an example of one of them is it's like TNT barrel you can drop on your location and then run away. And when that thing blows up, it'll just kill anything. Like other players, it'll kill enemy NPCs. It'll just kill anything that's in there. And so we have like an explosion one. We have like a freeze bomb one. We've been messing around with new pets and stuff that can attack you.
Giant bear. I don't know if I actually use that.
I don't know the giant bear.
There's a giant bear. I don't know if you guys saw it. I posted to Facebook last week a picture. We were having fun. Because at least right now with those consumables, when you're in town, you can actually kill the other players with them. So we were going in town and just setting those things off like crazy.
So we've got some work to do to make sure that you can't grief other people with them. But they are really fun, we think, and so we're experimenting with that. So look forward to that coming down into one arena or another eventually. Some of these fun consumables you'll be able to use to get closer to being able to attack other players and kind of mess with other players a bit and make them react to what you're doing, and that it really does add a new layer of strategy to it. So really excited to keep pushing on that and hopefully get it to you guys as soon as possible so you can try it out and give us your feedback too.
Let's see, is there anything else we want to talk about as far as what will be coming in the future for arenas? I guess we should talk about timing as far as this initial beta release.
Sure.
So this initial version that we have running right now, we want to get that out to players in a select few countries, hopefully within the week. Right? If all goes according to plan.
So we're doing our kind of initial live testing in a few, like what Brett said, test countries, smaller countries now, just to get some kind of stress testing on the system, make sure our matchmaking stands up, everything, get all the kinks worked out before we go big and all you guys get to play it. And so we'll do that for about a week. Assuming that goes smoothly enough and we can iron out all the kinks, then we're looking that this will go fully live to you guys at the end of August this month or the beginning of September. So that's what we're aiming for right now.
And that's for this initial version that we should qualify. Is not going to have a lot of those other things that we've been talking about, like a new item type, especially with the rewards, right? So don't think that when this first thing comes out, like that's what arenas is going to be. Like this is just the first step of something that is getting a lot bigger.
Bigger. So. I mean, even to get where we are now, it's been a massive effort. Everyone's on the team's done a great job, and it's going to continue to be a massive effort.
Obviously our goal here is like we want to get this in front of you guys as quickly as possible, so we can start to get feedback from you and get and know from you guys, what you want from arenas, how you'd like to see them improved. I'm sure there's a lot of things that we haven't even thought of right now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That they'll have for us. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about before we get to viewer questions? I've been seeing a lot of them here, so I know we have plenty that we can go through. Anything else? No?
No,
cool.
I think...
All right, Sean, you want to swing over here so people can actually see you?
You got a pretty face. Don't hide it, man. Come on.
Yeah. You got to keep your headphones on, though. All right, Sean's swinging over here.
What's up, guys?
All right, there he is. Say hello to everyone, Sean. All right, so let me start going through here and try to answer some questions that you guys have. So let's see here. Do people want a trade button? Item trading, I guess, is what we were talking about. Not exactly related to arenas, but that's another one of those big things. I guess after PVP, which is kind of what this is. The other thing that people have always wanted is trading, and obviously that's something that we've thought about. But obviously it's also a very, very tricky business to add trading to the game, just because there's a lot of ways it could possibly be exploited.
Not to say that's impossible. Obviously, there is a way we can make it work. We've talked about it. It's never fallen off our radar completely, and we think about it. It's just not at the forefront right now, but it's definitely still in our minds.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see. Oh, here's an interesting question from Daylies. He wants to know if they return to town in the middle of a match, will they lose the crown? How's that going to work?
Yeah,
right now?
so you will be penalized for leaving the match early. Mainly because we don't want to encourage that kind of behavior. We don't want you to say, oh, I don't think I'm going to win. I'm going to leave right now, and then that's not a fun experience for the other person who's still in the match. So we want you to try to stick it out, try to finish, try to give you ways to make sure that you can come back and swing your score in the end.
Yeah, I mean, we saw in this match here. I thought for sure, Derek, you were going to take away with that match, but in the end, Sean pulled through.
Sneaky Sean over here. So yeah, leaving will hurt you. We realize that sometimes might not be your fault if you left. You might get disconnected, things like that. We're going to do our best to try to handle those situations, but we do want to try to find people who are intentionally leaving matches and make sure that they're not gaming the system or ruining experiences for other people.
Yeah, exactly. So. If you guys have played Hearthstone, as I'm sure a lot of you have, it's kind of a similar situation there. Yeah. If you leave a match early in Hearthstone, the other person just wins. That's how it works, right? We think that's probably the fairest way to do it, and that's the way that we're looking to do it now. Let's see. Let's talk about balancing for a little bit, because it's actually pretty interesting. Because a couple people were saying that they thought the knight was going to be at a severe disadvantage in this system, and it's interesting. I think having the different enemies for different amounts of points really changes things, right? Because when we were first playing, we had everybody just at 1 point. And it was a little bit tougher with the knight to try to come out ahead. But once you start to add the different point systems for the enemies, and then you've got the knight who can deal more damage than anyone else. Like, I've played a lot of games with people where they played the knight and they just got every single kill because they could come in, like once I took someone down to half health or something like that. Yeah. Come in with a maim, boom, kill them. I mean, do you guys want to kind of talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's going to be surprised about, some of the outcomes when playing arenas. I mean, even in the studio, you think something's going to go one way. It really depends on how you stack your character, what you come in. It's all skill-based. What you're going to come in with, what's your strategy, and it really does. It's really unpredictable, I would say. You think you're coming in with the best stats, the best weapons and whatnot, but someone might have a strategy that that kind of outwits what you're trying to do. And, it just keeps it fun and entertaining, I say.
Yeah, totally. I think you guys will definitely need to play around a little bit with your specs, right? Because what's been useful for you in events might not necessarily be useful to you in an arena match.
Right.
So it's definitely something to think about when you're playing. If you're not having success at the beginning, then maybe take a look at your skills and the gear that you have on, and see if there's maybe something else that you could have that would work better.
Totally.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Any other questions here? Question on those select few countries. I mean, we don't want to talk too much about explicitly which ones they are, but it's definitely not going to be the U.S. Sorry, guys.
Smaller markets for now.
But like we said, hopefully within a week, assuming nothing goes terribly wrong with that initial beta, then we'll release it out to everybody. So let's see if we've got any other questions here. Wants me to stop holding my mic. Sorry. If I have my mic far away, you guys really can't hear me very well. Next time we'll get some better microphones so all three of us can talk without me having to hold it. Let's see here. What are we going to play? Tokens, like we said, those tokens will accumulate automatically over time, and you can also buy them straight out with gems if you want to. But right now they're refreshing once every 30 minutes.
Yep.
And you can only have 5 total, so after 2.5 hours you'll be full up again.
Yep.
Let's see. Other questions here. A lot of comments here. All right, let's look down at the bottom, see if anyone's asking new questions here.
What's that?
I was looking at this one about the female character.
Oh. I'll pass that feedback on to our team.
I think we can address that.
I will say, though, with the female character, I know a lot of you guys have been really excited to have the female in. We're not done with that character model just yet. In fact, I don't know if it's coming in the next update, but it might be the one after that. We'll be having a fix for her hands.
Yeah,
right? That was one of the big things that's been
monster hands.
She's got monster your man-sized hands, and we'll be making a fix for that. But we will say that there probably will be some like weirdness depending on the particular gear that you have on with the female.
Right.
But we think the pros far outweigh the cons there, and actually having female characters in. I mean, you guys have wanted that from day one.
Yeah.
And we're real excited to finally have them in the game. All right, let's see. Any other questions we have here? That's an interesting one. Let's see. People want some more female skins. We were actually just talking about skins the other day. That could be something we revisit again in the future. Female skins, definitely a possibility there. Let's see.
Yeah, and I get to talk about skins and other kind of visual reward vectors. One thing that we're exploring, in the short to medium term with arenas is some more, kind of visual-based kind of reward. So, for example, player titles is something that we're exploring internally right now, and seeing if there's a way for you guys to be able to, whoever's winning in the arena right now, or give you some kind of title or rank to display, so you can show off to other players how you stand in the arena. So that's one thing. Extension of the player portraits is another one that we're exploring as well too. So we're kind of player portrait that you choose on your profile. We're kind of starting to expose that in more places now with the arena, on the scoring screen, on the leaderboards, and all that stuff. So that's something that we're looking at too. So just ways for you to kind of say, it's a nice little way to show other players your progress and where you stand and how good you are, which is always fun to show off. So
and more ways to customize yourself, right? Like it's a role-playing game. People want to be able to customize things, and we want to give you guys those options.
Yep.
There's a good question here from Night Shiver 05 talking about the gear disparity between new and old players at level 60.
Yep.
And the fact that some level 60 players are actually going to have more skill points, what have you, than others. And that's definitely something that we're taking into consideration. I think in this first version of it, level 60 players will just be paired with each other. But as we go on, we're going to be looking to using different systems in order to better pair up the matchmaking and make sure that you get paired with someone who's roughly at equal level to you.
Absolutely, and that's a great question and a good observation. It's even beyond arenas, it's something that's really at the forefront of our minds on the design team right now. It's one of our biggest issues we want to address. As the game's gone on, we've given you better and better gear, and the enemies and the events have gotten harder on the high end, but the easier end, they're just too easy now for some of us. I know that's where I'm at on my production account, So it's a big issue that we're actively working on right now to try to figure out how do we get kind of more granular or more specific kind of scaling of difficulty for people. So we're giving you a more appropriate, fun challenge, and so that when you go into the arena, also you're not paired up with someone who has 50 more skill points than you, and so they're just going to one-shot guys and blow past you. That's not a fun experience. So it's in our best interest and in your guys' best interest for us to figure out how we can pair you up with people who are closer to your power, closer to your progression, so you guys are more evenly matched from the start. So that's a great question. It's definitely something we're thinking about, and we have ideas on how we're addressing it. We're just working towards it. So yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. All right, let's see. There's a couple questions about people asking when are we going to be actually able to fight the other players? That's something that we thought about when we were first developing this feature, but the fact of the matter is, that just becomes it's a very, very tricky situation. I think if you were directly attacking the other player, what Derek was just talking about would just be exasperated, right? You would just immediately one-shot the other person, and that would be the end of the match. It wouldn't be that fun. So, we think that this system really allows for people to compete with each other, and I think particularly once we introduce those consumables where you can actually have a direct effect on someone else, it'll start to feel like you are really battling with the other person.
Yeah.
But we thought that this mode just made it a lot more fun, and it gives us a lot more flexibility than simply dropping two characters into an arena and have them whack at each other till one person dies.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's why we went with this route here. That's not to say we won't ever have PvP, strict PvP in the game. But we think that right now arenas is definitely the better option, and it's going to be more fun for players overall.
Yep.
You do get some of that gratification though when you pull up some of those consumables like the bomb and that, some of the other things that you can use against your opponent in the arena, because you can cause death, and it's very fulfilling.
Speaking like a true
straight
PvP,
from the source.
Plenty opportunity for that. Absolutely.
All right. right. Let's see if we've got a few other questions here before we move on. And obviously, guys, we'll be talking a lot about arenas on the forums. We'll be talking about them on the Facebook page. We'll be talking about on Congregate. So if you guys don't get your specific question asked here, or if it's a question that you think of later on, be sure to jump in the forums. I'll be on there. Our great moderator, Tracy, will be there too. So we'll be answering a lot of your questions in the coming weeks. And I've actually just this morning been working on a blog post that will kind of lay out what we went through here on the stream so that you guys can read it for anyone who didn't have time to watch the video or just wants to get a recap. So I'll post that tomorrow as well. You'll be able to check that out. Let's see if we got a couple more questions here for folks.
And we'll definitely do a couple. We'll do a couple live streams where we'll hop in and we'll do some. You guys can battle us in the arena, see if you can beat us at our own game here, and that'll be fun. Looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is something that I've been wanting to do a lot. Get more people, or get onto Twitch more often, and just get in and start playing with people. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun doing that. So I'll try to rope Derek in, try to rope Sean in, try to rope some of other developers in as well.
Yep.
Get those guys some screen time. Just play with you guys and have fun.
So I see a few people, Ellis mentioned, because if you were asking about the poison arrow glitch, we are definitely aware of that. We were just looking at that recently, actually, and looking at ways into fixing that. So we are definitely aware of it. Don't think that we're trying to ignore that. We are trying to figure out the root of that one right now.
Yep. And one other thing that people are asking about is being able to play, particularly with your friends in the arena. And right now we had it set up so it's just strangers. We want to do that to equal the playing field. We don't want anybody colluding with each other and being like, hey, I'm going to take the fall on this one in order to get you up on the leaderboards or what have you. We might have like a casual mode or something later on where you could play with your friends if you just wanted to have fun, and maybe that wouldn't get you crowns or whatever, but you could still play. All those are possibilities. But for right now, we wanted to keep it as equal a playing field as possible. So you're just going to get matched with someone at random at this point.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, guys. I think that's. Let's see. Better infos for token price. Okay, just to reiterate again, it's going to cost you 1 token in order to play the match.
Yep.
And tokens will regenerate automatically every 30 minutes, whether you are logged in or not. You can have up to 5 tokens saved at one time. So if you go to bed, come back to KingsRoad the next morning, you're going to have 5 tokens right away. So that'll get you 5 matches. And then you can either wait for those to regenerate, or you can spend gems and purchase more tokens immediately.
Yep.
But we think it's a pretty fair system because you guys will also have events to play. You'll also have maps to run if you want to do that. So we don't expect people to solely play the arenas now. We figure that you're going to be hopping a little bit from one to the other. So this is just another avenue for you to have fun. And I think particularly because you'll be playing directly with other players, it's just going to have just a kind of emergent fun to it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. I think that's it for right now. We'll answer a bunch of your questions on the forum on Facebook. We'll post this stream up onto YouTube tomorrow so you guys can watch it all over again and pass it along to your friends. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks to Derek and Sean for helping out here. You guys did a great job. And like Derek said, we'll probably be on in the next couple weeks once we roll this out to all players, and we'll get into some matches, and you can probably kick our butts.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Later.
Looking
Bye.
forward.